it may feel like things are really unstable right now and the world is falling apart. The global situation may seem like it's untenable, broken, a threat, with current situations and stories being piped into our living room, piped into our phones, which are on our being morning, noon and night, with stories of war, famine, global warming, corruption, child sex abuse. I mean, it's a lot. And understandably, it's overwhelming. And in times like this, when you see people like me or other spiritual teachers, you might think, well, what's the point in awakening when the world is falling apart? Why are we talking about spirituality, waking up, liberation, Buddhism, non-duality, when there's very real things that need our attention right now? And I get it. It's a really valid question to ask. And I thought I could maybe give an answer from my perspective. So throughout my life, when I've experienced suffering, not just suffering here, but the suffering in the world, the suffering that is perpetuated in the world, and we see it in these global actions, like I said, war, anger, famine, all of these things that seem to be man-made, human-made, they're all driven from self-centered delusion, in my experience. They arise because people, us, en masse, are not in line with the way things actually are. And because of that, there's a movement of greed and hatred, or like collecting things and pushing things away, aversion, attraction, trying to get more stuff and get rid of other stuff. And this is just writ large in all of the world's political events. And we don't notice it, but by default, just from being born into this human experience right now, we're shoveled into this maelstrom of conditional suffering, this taking and grasping and pushing and pulling, the suffering of the world. We inherit it, unfortunately. And one of the reasons we inherit it is because we also inherit the delusion that we are those things, that's the only way to be in the world, that happiness depends on consumption, that I need to get mine and everyone else is a threat to that. And yeah, it might seem a little innocuous at first and not too much of a problem when we're at home in our everyday lives, but we see the consequence of the momentum of greed and hatred when it's amplified and unchecked and left to subjugate others and use others for its own satisfaction. We see that. We're seeing it right now. So actually, for me, it feels like the only antidote to this is to wake up from the delusion that you are my enemy and I need to protect myself, that my happiness is dependent on things and I need more things and you've got them, so I need to take them from you. That's essentially it, isn't it? That's that movement of greed and hatred that we're seeing in the political sphere, is that the only way people feel that they can be happy is by getting more stuff. And that stuff might be money, it might be oil, it might be power, it might be sexual pleasure. It doesn't matter what it is, and it's the feeling that the individual is in control. But the truth is, this is out of control. This world, this moment, this experience, this life, it's not in our individual ability to control. So whilst we're trying to control it, we are bound to cause suffering. And it's not just ours. We don't just cause our suffering because we're living out of alignment with true nature and the way things are. but we perpetuate suffering around the world. And it's mainly because we know it doesn't work. We know that grasping, that greed and that hatred, it doesn't work. It leaves us without. We're left wanting more, never truly satisfied, like a hungry ghost with a belly full but an unsatiable appetite for more. Yeah, I mean, perpetual suffering. So we sense that it doesn't work, and yet the only way we're told in the way things are in modern media, by political leaders, is that we need to invest deeper into the patterns of greed and hatred. And I guess what I'm saying is, no, we don't. We absolutely do not need to do that. We can wake up from that. In fact, if we wake up from the delusion that we need something in order to be happy, something specific, that there is something permanent and satisfactory that will keep me happy forever, and I'm going to get it. If we wake up from that dream and just experience what's right here without grasping, without pushing away, then not only do we find freedom, that momentum of suffering is just kind of cut through. We slice it almost instantly. We stop it in its tracks. We cut it at its root. We no longer perpetuate our suffering by trying to get satisfaction from that which is unsatisfactory. And we no longer perpetuate suffering by trying to subjugate others to satisfy ourselves. So I would say in times like this, when it feels really ropey and the world feels like it's falling apart, well, in some respects, it is falling apart. It's always been falling apart. There's never been anything that is reliable ultimately for us to gain ultimate satisfaction. There's never been any security in the things and the phenomena of the world. So when we grasp at them and try to get more of them, we further fuel our dissatisfaction. So let the world fall apart. Let the world of things and grasping and battling and fighting and discontent, let all of that go and wake up to a contentment that is free from all of that. So in my eyes and in my heart, I know that awakening is the most powerful and skillful thing that any person can do in any situation, because when we're free of that momentum of grasping and greed and hatred, we're free to live life fully in a way that's different, in a way that doesn't just have to habitually follow what somebody else has done or what somebody else has told us. We get to live spontaneously and improvise. We get to let love and connection start leading our lives, as opposed to discontent and battling and competition. So what's the point in awakening when the world is falling apart? Well, I would say the point is we wake up from trying to rely upon a world that has always been falling apart, and we get the opportunity to find some freedom, some peace, and no longer perpetuate suffering.